Get some sleeping pills then.
Locked.
Breviary of Medicine, Tome 1.
A control wheel to mount on a plumbing system.
Uh-huh.
The green gas leaves from here and it runs through the whole building. This valve controls the pressure.
Dr. Fuller, I've repaired your machine as best I can. However, the piping has been damaged, and I fear that the gas is escaping. I cannot do any more in such a short time. All I can do is warn you. If the equipment is put under too much pressure, there's a risk of explosion. Alan Mechanic. Ho, 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 ho. Explosion, you say?
Now for the next step. It's impossible to break this chain with my bare hand. A duct.
That would be good.
Perfect.
Okay, so that immediately sends you in.
Theoretically, I've only got one lever to push.
Oh. The red one, though. Oh, yeah. I'm guessing he's claustrophobic.
Damn it. This lever must turn on the gas machine. There's nothing happening.
Missing one. That's fine. That is fine. Note to staff. Last week's incident caused significant damage to the infrastructure, putting a stop to current experiments. This is unacceptable. From now on, the wheels operate the gas, or to operate the gas stop rocks must be kept in the storage room after each use. Moreover, you must keep register reviews up to date. I have to go to the storage anyway. Good to know. Where is storage? Exit. Oh. Okay. I didn't open that door. Damn it. Damn it. Oh. Oh, yes. I need to find storage room. Oh. Okay. It's weird
Perfect.
that a insane asylum's locks are easier than a grubby gang member's locks.
Who's there? This way.
Nope. Oh, shove a knife up your head. Go on, buddy.
With these chains on your wrist, you can't escape. Where do they keep their sleeping pills? Scopolamine? Morphine? Opium? My new friend's sleeping pills.
History of medicine in the 19th century. 21st century, maybe.
No. Not now. I've got what you want.
Show me!
There. And remember, they don't come for free.
Don't you worry, you'll have your diversion. Go on now, go hide yourself. The crows! They're everywhere! Make them go!
What carnage.
What have we got here, buddy? History of medicine in the 20th century? XX. Yeah, it's 20th. X is 10.
All the levers are activated.
Incision and bleeding, good practice.
This lever must turn on the gas machine. The piping hasn't burst. Not yet, anyway.
No,
He'll
but
find me. He can see me.
It's locked.
Calm down, please. No, no. Pain is just information, dear Francis. Invaluable information for my research. Kill me. Kill me. What? If you don't kill me, he will. My poor friend. I fear
That should draw the attention of the guards. I should hide.
Ha ha ha! Frankie boy. I'm coming to help. Oh.
Doctor, is that you?
Don't you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to keep him busy with his precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Get away? Get away where? I can't go anywhere. It'll find me, like it found me here. You're mistaken about the beast. Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
You're Sanders, aren't you? I heard you from my cell. What did they do to you? What does Fuller want with you?
The The doctor? You think it's the doctor who scares me? The doctor wants to heal me. But he's the one who's crazy. He wants to restore my sight. He wants to give me back my eyes. And yet I told him that I didn't want them. I do not want to see it anymore. The real culprit is Sarah. Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding me.
F.
You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
The one and only. The legendary. There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things, that's what makes you say she's cursed.
You're wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. No, don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Shambler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me. No!
Sanders!
Well. Dear
What
God.
hell? Oh God. I gotta. Okay. This is insane. What killed him?
A bad thing. A very, very bad thing. I told you. You're only safe if you don't acknowledge its existence. But now that we have,
Damn! The gas! Oh. My head.
Later. We need to move on.
it's probably gonna hunt me. Pierce woke up in an asylum, installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. Hello. It's...
Who goes there?
Once I get investigation, I'm going to put one into strength.
That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Do you realize what they mean? What you say is true.
That is precisely why I'll find evidence. You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Like crap.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's
Bradley?
our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller, and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
Mm-hmm.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
I don't like telling her because it would give her more grief. But I'm also not the kind of person who lies. So either we don't say anything about it at all, or it gets covered up. I don't like that. Let's take emotionals out of it, which is a smarter option. No. They seem equally as inefficient.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
No promises. How could he afford so much stuff? What was his profession?
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
You don't seem to,
May I inquire as to
shocked.
when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
I could not.
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you? What was I supposed to do, Detective? Upon seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands. I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A Shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it,
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
One more point and I'll max out my investigation. My sanity is shaking. Yeah, that makes sense. I missed one? Huh.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Is that the picture behind them? A picture of a picture.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Probably, but from the way
A
the
house
wife,
of artists. A house of artists.
the way his wife was talking, it seemed a bit more than friends on his part.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why? The Shambler. I need to see it.
Cheery. Real cheery. Any chance you would have some oil on you, buddy? Somewhere in this house? Oh. Did that move?
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Edison gold molded record. Audio recording the Francis Sanders left for his wife Irene.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Come on, man.
I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me. That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm curious what brought him to this. Some of the paintings seem to shift between.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Ancient amulet, probably Amerindian. Wonder what its purpose could be.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler. Your friend, Sarah Hawkins.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
This volume spends time on Reverend Wickwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, by her husband included, began to speak of their visions as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. It's likely. Possible, at least. Key to Sanders Yellow. Did you read the book? Yes. Malleus Bestiarum, Volume 2. It's kind of an encyclopedia of monsters and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe that they exist.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network, and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Sure, buddy. Let's go with that. Dissertation on an anatomical question. It's the works of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the questions asked allow us to imagine a new way of exploring human anatomy. Okay, Tier 2 and almost Tier 3. Interesting dagger. It's almost like it's made from one of those creatures.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Mm-hmm. So many knives. A catonic messenger, a human child. Sorry, I had to readjust my headset. so many knives. I wonder why each area has a knife. Certainly seems to have a specific style.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
I don't quite know. Perhaps he knew of the cult, or what was buried deep below the cult. Why didn't he try to unbury that? Chip a bit away and see what was... There's so much that you could study from those.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
That's an interesting image. A lion with tentacles for hair. Quite interesting. Let's do it. A child killing a goose. Oh, there's actual blood on that statue. That is not just... It's fresh too. It's not even dry. It's wet. Well, let's go curse ourselves. Five, four, three, two, one. Let me guess. 9. Crab just stay, Kalu Kalay. Do not look at it.
What the hell was that?
It can see what I can see.
Damn! Maybe I can use this dagger.
Get rid of this kind of creature is to get rid of its entanglement.
Damn it! This dagger didn't work. Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
Well. Dude, I'm good to go. Come on. Okay. Hello. Well, they're not the right one.
What the hell was that? Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Nope. Well,
What the hell was that?
let's brute force it. No, no. I should be able to tell which knife is which. Yes, this one.
Damn.
is
Maybe
special.
I can use this dagger.
What? Oh. Oh.
Damn it! This dagger didn't work.
Possibly that one. Wait, we found theirs before. It was this one. The one the cultist had. So it should be the one that works. I remember the handle was special.
Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
Yeah, apparently we do. Let's go with my god on this.
This dagger looks different.
It does. I'm not going with you, buddy. Bye-bye. What's going on?
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Yeah,
I was
missed a
attacked
bit
by
there.
a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
Hmm?
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
The Nameless Bookstore. I wasted so many knives. Even the cultist one wasn't the right one. Oh.
Where's the bookseller? Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head, because it holds the truth. The truth of what we shall find, I suppose. Darkwater History, Harry Campbell. A Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wickwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks around the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. There are documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then, the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Scylla returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. Don't know if it's good or bad that they did that. What are those? Right underneath the ribs on the right side, there's extra lumps. They're not a normal part of human biology. Or anatomy, I suppose, would be for this one.
What happened here?
Not yet. Handbook of on Anatomy and Dissection 2. Precise and illustrated as much detail in the first volume. This book focuses on healing surgery specific to malformations and motor disorders.
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
This collection catalogs and classifies creatures that I'd never heard of, divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. Presents itself as the reference work on the bestiary of the myth, without giving details on the mythology to which it refers. Its pages are covered with phantasmagorical illustrations. I would love a copy of that book.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Breviary of Medicine, Tome 3. Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. Interesting.
Let's start over.
I'm going to leave this one here. Hope you had fun.